Hi there, my name is Craig Stevens, and this is the Change Mentor Podcast. Today, we're going to look at one problem to solve. And this problem is, how do we get our creative juices for our team flowing? And I have a little exercise for that. It's called Thinking Outside the Box. Now, this is a version of something you've seen before, but I guarantee you have not seen this unless you've seen me do it. So this is my version of thinking outside the box. So this is part of my design thinking process of getting your creative juices flowing. It's also whenever doing problem solving. If this is new to a team, I try to use a tool like this to get their juices flowing. And so the principle behind this is that we all think in the box, and that's those things about what is going on that we think it the way we think it's going on. The problem is we judge things from our perspective, not by other people's perspectives. So this is one of the fifth discipline laws of our discipline is the mental models. We have to get outside our box. So this is the traditional way of looking at it. The explanation goes, connect all of these dots using straight lines without backtracking, without going over the other lines. In other words, as few lines as possible, straight lines, without lifting your pen off the paper, and connect all those dots. And so usually when I say, can you connect those dots? I give people a couple of minutes to connect those dots, and they come up with, yeah, we did it in 4, or we did it in 5. Try to do that in less than 5 lines. And the traditional approach, you do it in. The answer to this, so pause it if you want to play along, but the answer to this is you go outside the box, you think outside the box, you come back down, you think outside the box, you do that again, and you connect those dots, and you connect that. So you usually, when most people have 4 or 5, I've even seen more than that. A few people who know this trick will think outside this box, and that's the answer. So that is the normal, traditional answer of thinking outside the box. But what if I told you I could do that in 3 lines? First thing I need to do is have you participate with me. So I want you to step way back away from the problem. Just imagine this is just as off in the distance. So you're going to step way back. Oh, you did a good job. So that's really good. So now I'm going to go and connect all those with 3 lines. Some people say, well, you're cheating. Lines are infinitesimally small and you have thick lines. Well, with that, I could think further outside and use 1 line maybe. But this is still thinking outside of the box, because our box was that sheet of paper that the dots were on. So now I had to get a bigger sheet of paper, a whiteboard maybe. And I don't show it, but these lines actually connect too. But so that would be one way of using fewer lines. So my next question is, what if I said, think of the Roman numeral 6. What if I asked you to create a Roman numeral 7, only adding 1 line? And you say, Craig, that is so crazy. I can do that. Anybody could do that. You just add a line. So we did it. There's the Roman numeral 7, 5, 6, 7. All right, so what if I said, let's do the same thing. Let's create a 6 by just adding 1 line. And now that's all we got to do. Add 1 line, create a 6. So people think about this for a while and say, Craig, I cannot do that. I cannot create a Roman numeral 6 with just 1 line. And I say, well, I can do it several ways, but I never said Roman numeral. So I created an S and I spelled it 6, right? So I created a 6 using 1 line. All right, so now what if I said I could do that a bunch of ways? Do it again, do it a different way. You may want to pause and try this. But here's another one. 1 times 6 equals 6. That's still a 6. So what if I said, all right, let's do it again. Try something different, see if you can create a 6. So Craig, you spelled it in 6, you used math and you did it in 6. You made a 6, 6 points out of that. So how can I do it differently? And so what I do is I put a line in the middle, now I flip it over, and there's a 6, and there's a 6 on the side of a lake with a reflection of a 6 below it. So there's a bunch of ways to do this. So another one is, so what if I say, to the people, the team, you got to do it again. You got to find a couple more ways to do this. And they said, Craig, you exhausted our ways. And I said, what about this? That's a brute force and an abstract looking 6. That's still kind of a 6. You know, I can make that argument. And then what if I said, well, okay, do it again. I can still find 10 different ways to do it. And someone says, well, show me, because they're getting tired of doing it now. So you can pause and try to find another way. But what I do is I said, well, if I added a line there, flipped it sideways, and folded the paper over, well, it looks like a 6. It's a Roman numeral 6. See, in the beginning, what I did was I trained your mind to think Roman numerals. And then I broke that train of thought with adding letters, and I broke it again, adding numbers. So now we should be pretty free flowing on anything goes to create a 6, right? So now let's try it again. What about a 6? Okay, well, if I did that one way, I could do it another way. I just fold the paper twice. See that? And then what about this? Now, this is really unusual. This is one when I taught a bunch of students, undergraduate students in research and development at Vanderbilt University. I gave them a challenge. I said, okay, we're doing research and development, and we're going to think as far outside the box as you can. So if you can find another way to create a 6 out of this that I haven't already thought of, I'll give you points on your final exam. And so they said, sure, we'd love to do that. So here's what they came up with. So now the students said, okay, we're going to use Greek and Roman letters to spell it in English. So that was their explanation of this. I gave them credit. So anyway, so you can see, thinking outside the box, you got to think in ways that have never been thought of before in order to create things that have never been created before. So that's all part of the design thinking training we do. It's also part of problem solving in other ways. But now, if we went back here and I said, I want to remove all the rules, just connect those dots, few lines as possible. And so what usually people do is they do this. They say, okay, Craig, I can do that. One big curvy line, one line, beat that, Craig. And I say, well, I can beat that because all I have to do is draw on a sheet of paper and use an architectural type view or a mechanical view, I guess in this case, where I can see this is the edge of the paper. That's another edge of the paper. I can show 4 edges, right? And so I could do that 4 ways without ever drawing a line, just by manipulating the paper. And there's other ways you can do it too. But so this would be a plane. These are the dots. These are the dots on a single line. And so that's going from 2-dimensional to 1-dimensional, I guess. But that's it. So that's how we did thinking outside the box for this small group in project management, and they wanted to share it with their people. So I hope you enjoyed that. So that's the Change Mentor Academy, solving one problem. How can we come up with a way to get your creative juices flowing for your team and solve one problem? And that's thinking outside the box so we can start solving problems that are a little bit more complicated. So what my challenge to you is to share this video as many places as you can. It's kind of fun. It's something you haven't thought of before, and it helps us because we need cash flow too. So this is how we get in contact with people who may be able to use our services either in training and services related to people we have and all kinds of other things that we do. But anyway, reach out to me, Craig Stevens, give me a message.